Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Um, I stumbled upon a text today uh, in my library and I was just blown away. The second treatise of the great Seth. Now, unfortunately, this is another really important text. Yes, there we go. This is another really important text that is unfortunately written through the Gnostic lens. And it's very frustrating finding these texts that are revealing the deeper mysteries of biblical theology, really the deeper mysteries of the cross. People don't understand this, throw it in the Gnostic category. Um, so I did realize that I could use a tool that I can make notes in the PDF. So I did that in this PDF. Um, so here is my note right here, and I wrote a note concerning, just so it doesn't turn people off right away, and and all that kind of stuff. So it really just informs the reader that this is not a heretical text, and it causes all this crazy stuff going on. Um, so we have that, and I mean, there's a lot to say about this text, but I just did the basics just to fend off the Gnosticism. Here we go, Sophia of Hope. This is my note. Translated the Sophia of Hope, also known as the Pistis Sophia. See the first book of Adam and Eve, chapter 8, verse 2, for the true biblical context. Stuff like that. Um, and we have words thrown in here like Gnosis, where it's here somewhere. Um, You'll see it when reading the text. Here we go. Like Gnosis, it simply means mystery. It does not take away from the true context of the text when we know what we're talking about. And what we're talking about, I wrote about in the compiler's note right here. This is the most presentable way I could figure out how to do this. So there it is. That's what I have to say about this. So this text is very profound. I can understand a lot of people may not receive this text because it gets into, honestly, it gets into stuff that I can personally discern is true, but I can't necessarily, I'm not very well informed on to necessarily teach or show it. But it gets into stuff, maybe it reveals the depths of, I don't know what's going on here, of Romans 1:23. Okay, the mystery of Romans 1:23. Yes, that could lead to dinosaurs. This is probably the real only mention of dinosaurs in our Bibles in the true context in the days of Genesis 6. That's the way I always perceived Romans 1:23. But it could also mean here we are in our sin nature. Okay, God, yes, we are made in God's image, but He did not create us. He created us in all the glory of Adam, not in our fallen nature, which we have now. Our fallen nature, which we have now, was created by the devil, obviously. And when you think about it in our Bibles, it's pretty obvious. And so this gets into this stuff. All I could say is may the reader understand. It gets into stuff that is very deep about who we are in this matrix. It really exposes the arrogance of the enemy. Why they're so arrogant, but when we know the truth, we overcome that arrogance. It doesn't matter. We overcome our flesh. We just rise above it because we know we are above it all. And this is why this reveals a very deep revelation. Why Simon, who bore Jesus' cross, was there's a theology in Gnosticism. He was mistakenly crucified and took Jesus' place, and Jesus walked off and left. Now, Christians are going to say, heresy, heresy, heresy. Hold on, that's a real deep biblical truth. It's just, here we are in our flesh nature. The mystery of the light of the cross is our truth. So as we are carrying our cross in our truth, yeah, our resurrected body is standing over the cross laughing because we totally defeat the enemy. I wrote about this, okay? This is shown in the extra biblical text. So it's just a misconceived false It's a misconceived doctrine. So just see my notes, okay? Um, and it gets into some deep stuff. Now, it's just frustrating for me because I wish these texts could be translated properly, and I really, I cry out to the Lord that He gives the ability to do this, but I really have to understand the information more to translate it properly. Can we understand our place in this matrix system that is completely outside our reality, amidst fallen angels and archons and all this kind of stuff? No, we. How do we use the proper terminology for things that don't even exist on this plane of existence? I don't know. I'm learning these things. I don't know. We're learning, okay? But this is the mystery of the cross. There's other things it gets into. I don't. I'm not going to search the text. I'm just going to say that the way it's translated, I think, sounds very harsh about Moses and John the Baptist not knowing the Son of God, not knowing Jesus. The way it's translated sounds very harsh, but if you meditate on it, okay, we prophesy in part, we know in part. John the Baptist himself even said to Jesus, "Are you the one we were looking for? Should we be looking for someone else?" So you have to, don't be turned off by the translation of the text. Meditate on before, in our flesh, we just want to say, no, 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 no. No, meditate on this stuff. Meditate on it before we naysay it, okay? So when we meditate, all right, well, yeah, Moses probably didn't know everything there was to know, okay? John the Baptist probably didn't know everything there was to know, because we know in part, we prophesy in part, as the Bible says. So there's a segment at the end of the text. It sounds harsh the way it's worded, but it does theologically make sense. It gets into a lot of stuff, guys, that I don't know. And maybe if you're a victim of gang stalking, you'll understand better. If you are versed in the sons of Seth and what it was like in the days of Seth on Mount Hermon, it not only confirms the stuff we've revealed on this channel, but it actually gives us more information. They were laughing at Adam in his fallen nature. They were a laughing stock. If you want to confirm what's written about Seth, if you're not sure what this text gets into at first, I highly recommend reading the Cave of Treasures, what it says about Seth, okay? And then you'll see, oh, okay, all right, this is not some weird, false, Gnostic mysticism thing. It's just translated weird, but it's talking about truth that's not necessarily in our Bibles. But it can be confirmed in the extra-biblical text, okay? So basically, this text is writing about the greatness of Seth from back in the days of Adam, and it morphs into second coming of Christ kingdom prophecy. So very amazing. This text was written, believed to have been written around the 3rd century AD, which a lot of false texts derive from. There's just cans of worms that are being opened in this text. And may the reader understand, I just want to say that. But is this text actually inspired in its true context, in its original form, original language? Yeah, I believe it is. But unfortunately, the Gnostics translated it. And this is all we have so far. I'm looking for other translations. But after reading this, I was just blown away because there's so much to learn from this text. So much to learn. And so if we're familiar about the mystery of the light of the cross and all the stuff we've been learning on this channel about the sons of Seth, we can discern, hey, this stuff is true. And it talks about things that we may not necessarily have the ability to theologically tackle yet. So let's not naysay it, okay? So I just made very basic footnotes, though there is a lot to talk about in this text. Just very basic footnotes to lead people in the right direction. Okay, enjoy. Thanks for tuning in, guys.